moment, and we'll... Okay, first, I have to give you a notification that the hearing is being recorded in accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law and broadcast over Lunenburg Public Access. I'd like to introduce you to the board members. To my left is Lisa Normandin, the board secretary. I'm Alfred Gravel. This is James Bezikoski, Hans Winthrop, David Blatt, and Patrick Callahan. Lisa will read the application and any other submitted communications. The applicant will have the opportunity for comments on the application or submission of additional documents. You'll please come forward to the mic and give your name and address. Board members will have the opportunity to ask questions that they might have on the time while you're at the mic. There'll be a public comment period. You'll please come forward to the mic, give your name and address all comments and questions to the board. The board will go into deliberation, and there are required findings for a special permit, that it will not be injurious or dangerous to the public health, unduly hazardous because of traffic flow, congestion, danger, fire, explosion, or other reasons, that it will not have a material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood, that it will be operated with reasonable regard for order and sightliness if in open use, that it will not produce noise, vibration, smoke, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent property. And with that, I would ask Lisa to please read the application.
This is an application for a special permit, modification of a special permit, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, Zoning Board of Appeals. The name and address of the applicant is Richard Contaxis of 281 Pleasant Street in Lunenburg. The undersigned hereby appeals as follows. Modifying the existing special permit granted January 9th of 2019 to allow solar panels to be located 10 feet from the side yard and to be constructed as shown on the engineered plan. Proposed action has begun. The basis for this application is found in the following section of the Lunenburg zoning bylaw, Section 250-4.15.3.3. Street address of the property is 355 Northfield Road in Lunenburg. Assesses map 40, parcel 31. The name and address of each holder of legal title to the land, which is the subject of this case, is Richard Contaxis, 281 Pleasant Street in Lunenburg. And the deed is recorded in Worcester Northern District, Registry of Deeds, Book 8460, page 184, recorded 12/4/2015. If the undersigned has any knowledge of a prior appeal, application, or petition concerning the land or building involved in this case, describe the case and the dates involved. Special permit was previously issued January 23rd, 2019. The special permit questions and answers are as follows. Will the proposed action be injurious or dangerous to the public health or unduly hazardous because of traffic congestion, danger of fire or explosion, or other reasons? The reply, A, this project will not cause any problems to public health, traffic congestion, or danger of fire or explosion. B, will this action have a material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood or on the amenities of the neighborhood? The reply, this project will increase, not decrease, any land values or other amenities in the neighborhood. C, will the proposed action be operated with reasonable regard for order and sightliness if in open use? The reply, this project will be completely surrounded by landscape boulders and be set back 143 feet off the front property line. D, will the proposed action produce noise, vibration, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent property? And the reply is, there will be no noise, dust, heat, or glare from this project. The following information is provided because it is considered important to this case. I already applied for a 15-foot offset from my side boundary on January 24th, 2019, and this was approved. However, after review, I need to be 10 feet from the side boundary because 15 feet is too close to the driveway. And this is signed on June 12th of 2019 by Richard Contaxis at 281 Pleasant Street in Lunenburg. He's also added another sheet that says entire project will be surrounded by large boulders at least 3 feet high. Also, the entire area will be fenced in with a 24-hour video surveillance on the project. Any questions, contact me, and he listed his home and cell phone numbers. The Attached is also the zoning bylaw with regard to ground mount solar. And New England Clean Energy has provided a memo to whom it may concern. The solar array to be built at 355 Northfield Road will incorporate Solar Edge SE 10,000 watt, 10 kilowatt inverter and thus cannot exceed the 10 kilowatt size specified in the Lunenburg zoning bylaw. Sincerely, Mark Durenberger, President of New England Clean Energy. There's also a list of abutters and a site map from the assessor's office, and a field card, and the certified plot plan prepared by David E. Ross Associates. The applicant's engineer has also submitted some additional data tonight, but I will not read that. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
And with that, I would invite the applicant up to address the new proposals in the application. And if you would like to review the you submitted, if you have the opportunity to do that.
How you doing tonight?
Good, thank
My
you.
name is Jason Goyette. I work at David E. Ross Associates.
My name is Richard Contaxis. I live at 281 Pleasant Street, Lunenburg, Mass. I am the owner at 355 Northfield Road. I did speak with you people before, but apparently what I learned from that was I should have brought an engineer, an expert with me, and I wouldn't be back here again doing this. For that, I apologize, but now I am prepared. I do have an engineer to explain to you exactly what I need. Nothing has changed. I still want to live here. I still want to die here. I need that solar, like I said, to be at about net zero, so I can kind of retire. I'm not going to make the money I used to make before. Hopefully, you can help me with that.
Thank you.
We have prepared some bullet points that I'm going to read for you guys tonight. The previous ZBA special permit granted a small-scale solar array to be offset 15 feet from the side property line. 25 feet is required. The applicant misunderstood the decision voted on. He thought he was being granted a 15-foot reduction to the side property line, thus making it a 10-foot offset. The second change would be the applicant would also like to modify the special permit to have one solar array and not two. We have submitted, along with this, a certified plot plan, which is S14791, which is the next page. And it's showing the exact location of the base of the solar array now. The panels are not on, and it shows that they are right now built at 11 feet from the property line. Therefore, the applicant would like to move the solar array 1 foot closer to the property line to equal the 10-foot proposed side property line offset. The solar panels actually extend from the frame on the low end, which is the end closer to the driveway. So moving the solar frame toward the property line will provide a safer clearance for the driveway. We have also attached the structural plans for the solar array. And you can see the high spot. We had located the base, the metal frame on the base, and you can see that the high point is actually set in a little bit and then overhangs on the short end. So the short end will bring it a lot closer to his driveway. And we've also attached a couple photos showing where the solar array is located per the driveway. And then the final point would be the proposed solar array does meet all the other zoning requirements.
Okay. Just one quick question. You said you're going from 2 to the 1 array?
Yes.
Is that the same footprint?
Is that the same? I don't have the original
What
sketch.
we had before was 2 separate. Now I just put both of those together, so it'll be almost about the same. It'll be a little shorter.
So it'll be shorter.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Basically the same size, though.
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that, I'll open it up to the board. Any questions they may have at this time?
So, Mr. Chair, basically I had a chance to drive the property. Looks like it's obvious from the pictures too that the driveway's in. Right now, the way you just explained is that the array is 11 feet from the property. It's not the 15 feet, it's only 11 from the
Correct.
property line.
Correct.
What are the dimensions of the driveway to the property line?
I don't believe,
So the question is this, I'm kind of asking this because I'm wondering if it's mainly because the driveway's in, and now we're close to the driveway? Because, my understanding is that the driveway could have been closer to the other property line, and then we wouldn't be sitting there today.
If I could comment on that. Actually, when we gravelled everything, we had all the gravel in. My plan was to put it 10 feet, when I messed that up. The driveway is 10 feet wide right now.
Right.
So we're looking at, to push that out would give me 3 more feet where I can put my boulders. So when I came here and asked you all of that, that is basically where I had to put the driveway. If I had to move the driveway, we were talking an extra cost of probably $5,000 or $6,000. We would have to dig another whole trench all the way down. I'd have to dig it all out, take out all the, and put in gravel, and then move the driveway, and it would have been an awkward driveway. It would have went left, and then it would have went down. So rather than do that, I was hoping I could come to the board and just have them move the array instead, saving me $5,000 to $6,000. Hopefully.
That's what I'm saying. Was this driveway in before you approached us the first time?
No.
Okay, so that was the after was beyond, basically the driveway was put where it was put, and now we're in this situation now.
well, originally, he thought he was asking for a 15-foot reduction, putting it to 10. So that's where the confusion came in the first time. So he thought he was originally asking for a 15-foot reduction from the 25. And if you look at the original sketch, he wrote 15, thinking, and then 35, which is 50. So he thought he was asking for the 15-foot reduction, not going a 10-foot reduction to 15 feet.
Because I looked at the property, I looked at where things were, and I question 2 things now. One is why the array is so close to the street versus closer to the house, and 2, why, I would have looked at it, and I would have more than happy to have granted the driveway easement versus the array easement more than anything else. So that's where I'm running into an issue right now. I felt like we granted you a reduction, but maybe it was given us in the wrong way. That actually what you needed was something for the driveway, not for the.
If I may, where it is located now, gave me 80% light to make it efficient enough to get the solar. To move it back any further would have brought the more shade into the situation, and it wouldn't have been feasible. To get 80%, this is where they wanted it, so the sun came over the trees. I can't cut down any more trees because it's conservation. And other than that, the driveway, like I said, to have moved it, I might have been able to do that, but the cost would have been at least $6,000 or $7,000 easily.
Well, that's today because you already have it in.
I did question that before when they were going to do the driveway. I called up Crowley. I says, listen, if I can move the driveway. And he says, that's going to be a big pain. We're going to have to redig a whole new trench. We're going to have to put in all new gravel. We got to tear up all your lawn. You got to take on it. No, forget the sprinklers. He says, you're talking another $6,000 or $7,000. Easy. Go to the ZBA, see if they can help you, and just get your 10-foot variance. And that's basically why I'm here.
Okay.
Hopefully, you can help me with that. I mean, I should have come in before, but another thing, to move the driveway, it would have been an awkward situation, because the driveway would have come in left, and then it would have to swing right. Now I have an issue with the lawn and everything, and we're probably looking at a little bit more than $6,000 or $7,000.
Well, I mean, there's many houses in Lunenburg have driveways that wind a little bit. I lived on one that had S-turns in it, just to avoid different things. So, I mean, that's not as much. I understand today it's a nice shot, straight shot. I looked at it, and there's other things that could have been done. But that's, but I understand what we have in front of us today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
So, Mr. Chairman, if I just misunderstanding this correctly, so the setback is 25 feet.
Yes.
Now you're looking for 15 feet.
Now there's looking for 10.
Looking for, they were granted 15,
Okay,
and we're looking for 10.
you're looking for 10
Yeah,
off the property
off the
line.
property line. Yep.
Okay. So you're really looking for a 15-foot
Reduction.
reduction?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I had.
You're welcome.
So essentially, you're going to try to move the base for the panels about another 3 to 5 feet away from the driveway, in towards the trees, is what you're saying?
Yes. Off the driveway.
Where it
So-
is located right now, we're probably gonna move it another foot.
Foot.
Half a foot.
That'll keep it the 3 to 4 feet off.
So what is the distance today that's been proposed from the distance from the side of the driveway to the bottom, to the lowest point of the panels? What is that distance gonna be? I don't see it on the plan, so I need that help.
Say again from,
From the side of the driveway that's been put in
yep,
to the bottom of the to the lowest point of the panels, because that's your concern.
About
What is
3
that
feet.
distance right now?
And where it is right now
Yes.
is about 2 feet. Two
You're
and a half feet.
proposing?
So I need 3 at least, so I can put my boulders in.
So could we put a different type of barrier? No.
If we leave it right where it is, it would be a more costly project. I would have to research that. I mean, I have not researched it, but to do all the things that I want to do with it, put in the fence and the boulders and everything, I need that extra space. We're talking, from where it is now, we're looking to move it back just about a foot at the most. I believe it's at 10.6 now. So we're moving back another half a foot or a foot. And then I can put in boulders, I can put my fence, I can put in shrubs on the side. I wanted to protect it so that if you're coming down that driveway, there's no chance, if it's icy, that the car will slip and hit this array. That is my main concern. It's costly, it's expensive, and I want to get those boulders, and I can't, where it is, the way it is now, I just need about another foot. The boulders are going to be about 2.5 feet, about 2.5, 3 feet high. We'll put in about 4 or 5 of them there, and 2 on the front, 2 in the back. So no matter what, if you slide off that driveway, you cannot hit that array. You'll hit the boulders first.
So where's the proposed fence then gonna be that you talked about?
Last time we were here, we're gonna put one in the back
Right?
and one on both sides, matching the boulders. And if I have enough room, I will put some in front of the boulders so that no animals, no kids, nobody can get in there and cause any problems. And that's basically why I need that extra space. My plan was to surround it with the fence right up against it, put the boulders in front, and that way there are no animals, no kids, nobody can get in there. It protects it, and then the boulders will protect it from the traffic.
So in that section, the fence would actually only be 6 inches to a foot away from the driveway.
I wanted to put them behind the boulders, so you're probably gonna be looking at,
Okay.
that's why I need that extra foot.
You can't put
Probably-
behind the boulders because you'll be blocking the array.
If I push those boulders up, as long as it's a clear fence where the sun can get through, it's not an issue. We're only talking probably 4 or 5 feet high in the front. And in the back, for the neighbors, what they wanted, I was gonna put a white fence, because they apparently did not want to see it last time I was here. That will probably be a 6-foot fence in the back, white, so I could protect them, and that's what the neighbors wanted at that time. I think it was Mr. Schwartz, but I don't believe he lives there any longer. So basically, that's why I need that extra space, boulders, fencing, and my video surveillance are there, and it should be protected. It should be safe, and nobody, I'm afraid, I don't like to see any kids get in there, or especially animals get in there, and it is pretty much protected. It's got 2 circuit breakers at both ends, so my conduit is underground, and the conduit will be up underneath behind the fence, so nobody can get at it. And basically, that was my original plan. Hopefully, you can help me with that.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Just have one quick question.
Patrick?
So I do recall from before, we talked a lot about the tree line on the other side of the property.
Yes.
Of the solar array. So from the street, the array is the same distance from the road, but it's just getting shifted towards.
It's the same
towards that.
distance, actually, yes. We're just looking to push it back about a foot from where it is now.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question? I will just point out, though, that in the last decision, it was in there that the relief was 10 feet, and it basically stated that the current unit will be 15 feet from the side yard. And so you had a copy of this.
Yes, I did have a
So
copy.
I'm going to say, when you say you mistook what was given to you, it was in the decision.
Mr. Gravel, like I said, I was learning, I came here on my own, trying to do this thing on my own. It was a big mistake. I should have brought along my engineer. And like I said, this would not have happened.
Okay, and when you're currently talking right now that you just need 1 foot,
Yes, sir.
it's from where you have it positioned now.
Yes,
Which
sir.
is 11 feet, but you really need another 5.
That's all I need is that other foot from where it is
5
now.
feet.
But you need 5 feet, you don't need a
reduction
foot.
from what was previously.
Actually, yes.
If we granted you the relief of a
Yes,
foot, you'd
sir.
be here
Yes.
next month.
Yes.
So just to get this straight, he's now looking, with all the modifications, 15 feet relief from the 25-foot setback.
Correct. Yes.
So he'll be 10 feet
10
from the
feet.
property line with his array.
Yes.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for the board, to the applicants?
I'm all set with
Is there any? Yeah. Is there any public comment? Would anybody like to comment? Seeing none, I will bring it back to the board and ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we grant a 15-foot reduction from the 25-foot setback for the solar array. And I'd also modify the special permit to have 1 solar array rather than 2 solar arrays.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. I will ask for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. No.
Aye.
Aye. And with that, it is granted, the
Thank you very much.
modification. I know that in the first, I think there was some conditions in there, the conditions about fencing, bold, all of those things are still going to apply to the same permit. The only things we're modifying is the setback.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and with that, the special permit is granted. The special permit is granted with contingency that petitioner comply with all licenses, regulations, statutes, ordinances of any and all applicable local, state, and federal boards or agencies with jurisdiction over the premises. The special permit is subject to periodic review by the permit granting authority or the enforcement officer. To ensure compliance with any conditions, non-compliance to such conditions may result in revocation of the permit. A copy of the board decision shall be filed with the town clerk within 14 days. Any party aggrieved by the board decision may appeal to Superior Court within 20 days after the decision is filed with the town clerk. After certification by the town clerk that 20 days have elapsed since the decision was filed, you should have it recorded in the Registry of Deeds. No special permit shall take effect until it has been recorded. The special permit shall lapse within 2 years unless substantial use or construction has commenced. And with that, we wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. This is the only way my second one would print out. Ah. Okay. Huh? Right. Okay. The next hearing was scheduled for 7:15, so we will go right into it. You can just stay seated for right now. We have a little bit to do, to read first. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I have to give you a notification. This hearing is being recorded in accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law and broadcast over to Lunenburg Public Access. I will introduce the board members. To my left is Lisa Normandin, the board secretary. I'm Alfred Gravel. This is James Bezikowski, Hans Winthrop, David Blatt, and Patrick Callahan. The way the hearing will proceed is Lisa will read the application and any other submitted communications. The applicant will have the opportunity for comments on the application or submission of additional documents. You'll please come forward to the mic, give your name and address, not now. And board members will have the opportunity to ask questions that they might have on the application while you're at the mic. There will be a public comment period. You'll please come forward to the mic, give your name and address all comments and questions to the board. The board will go into deliberation, and there are required findings for a special permit, that it will not be injurious or dangerous to the public health or unduly hazardous because of traffic flow, congestion, danger of fire, explosion, or other reasons, that it will not have a material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood, that it will be operated with reasonable regard for order and sightliness if in open use, and that it will not produce noise, vibration, smoke, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent property. And with that, I would ask Lisa to please read the application.
This is an application for a special permit for a dimensional variation. Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, Zoning Board of Appeals. The name and address of the applicants are Thomas A. Reynolds and Danielle T. Thompson, 129 Peninsula Drive in Lunenburg. The undersigned hereby makes application as follows. Seeking a special permit to construct a two-car garage and workshop. The setback requirement is 40 feet in the Residence A zoning district. Proposed structure is approximately 30 feet back from the front property line. The proposed action has not begun. The basis for this application is found in the following section of the Lunenburg zoning bylaw, Section 250-5.2A1. The street address of the property is 129 Peninsula Drive in Lunenburg, assesses map 42, parcel 16. The name and address of each holder of legal title to the land, which is the subject of this case, is Thomas A. Reynolds and Danielle T. Thompson of 129 Peninsula Drive in Lunenburg. The deed is recorded in Worcester Northern District Registry of Deeds, Book 8049, page 230, and recorded December 9th, 2013. The special permit questions and answers are as follows. Will the proposed action be injurious or dangerous to the public health or unduly hazardous because of traffic congestion, danger of fire or explosion, or other reasons? The reply is the proposal will not be injurious or dangerous to the public health or unduly hazardous because of traffic congestion, danger of fire or explosion, or other reasons. B, will this action have a material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood or on the amenities of the neighborhood? The reply, this proposal will not have a material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood or on the amenities of the neighborhood. Will the proposed action be operated with reasonable regard for order and sightliness if in open use? The reply, the proposal will be operated with reasonable regard for order and sightliness. D, will the proposed action produce noise, vibration, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent property? And the reply, this proposal will not produce noise, vibration, smoke, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent property. And that is signed on June 29th by Thomas Reynolds and Danielle Reynolds of 129 Peninsula Drive. There is a map from the Board of Assessors office showing the property. There is a list of abutters, all that were notified 2 weeks prior to tonight, the assessors field card, and there is a site plan and a small dimension showing the shop. Since the abutters list got out, I did get an email from an abutter. Lisa, please enter this into the record of the 7/10/19 hearing regarding 129 Peninsula Drive as appropriate. Dear Mr. Chair, as an abutter, I am writing to state my total support for the petition for a special permit to construct a two-car garage and workshop 30 feet back from the front property line. Tom and Danielle have done a wonderful job on renovation of this property over the years, and I have no doubt that the proposed improvement will add to the beauty and usefulness of their property. The setback dimensional variation is required and appropriate. Thank you for allowing me to input on this matter. Sincerely, Jamie Toll, 147 Peninsula Drive in Lunenburg. And that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Okay, and with that, I would invite the petitioner up to address the application.
Thank you for hearing me today. I appreciate you giving me the time. I do have some larger plans, if you'd like me to disperse these to the table.
Yes, that would be good. It's okay. Even if you give us a couple, we can just put them in the...
They're all the same. Do you want me to bring two? One side?
We're fine. Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's get to the one we're interested in. The one we want is that one.
This is,
Oh, yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
yeah, but it's twisted.
I'm sorry, this might be, this is the overall plan. Same thing. This might be different.
That's okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty much, it's the same. Okay, we're good. You want to give Hans one if you want to look, then they can go together. All right. Okay, we're just going to take a minute to look at this because the plans that you submitted were so small,
Right,
I
right.
couldn't read anything.
And now you have the opposite. You have curtains. On that side.
Lisa, the side yard setback,
15.
okay, it's 15, but, and it's 15 in there. That's what it needs to be, right? So if he brought that back, even with the house, he'd probably be 5 feet.
If he was 100 feet back, he could go as close as 5 feet to
Yeah.
the side.
Right. Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
Okay. So the proposal is to put it 29 and a half feet on one corner, 30 feet on the other, the
Yes, sir.
garage, from the street,
From the main street, yes.
from the main street. Is that measured from the edge of the road or the road taken, do you know?
From the edge of the road to the corner of
Up to
the,
the corner of the house? Okay. And your cars are actually going to enter from the side? You're going to go up the driveway and then
And
take a
turn
right?
Yes.
Okay. I actually looked at the property and you have a pile of logs there and stuff.
Right.
That's
yeah.
approximately where it's going to be?
That would be, where those logs are, will be approximately where the doors for the garage will be, for the cars, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. I was actually trying to figure out where you were putting it at the time, so,
Yeah.
okay. I will open it up to the board members for questions.
The only question I have, Mr. Chairman, is, so I know obviously that the architect did the plans, but is there a reason he hasn't stamped the plans? I mean, I think he has owners here, but usually they come with a stamp on it.
Would there be one master and then the rest would be copies?
Well, usually they stamp them. I mean, obviously.
You are correct.
Somebody's worked on it. The only thing I would say is that, they should have a stamp plan for the file.
You are correct.
Just to, I mean, obviously the meets and bounds are there, but I didn't see it on the small thing you gave us, but then it looks like the architect has signed this copy,
Yeah.
but usually they put their stamp on there. So that's the only question I had.
You'd have to come up to the mic.
Given 4 copies.
Please give your name and address and,
Sure, Danielle Reynolds, 129 Peninsula Drive.
okay,
He had given 4 copies of the plan, 1 for us to bring, and then 3 additional for a permit. I'm not sure if those might have had the stamp on it.
yeah, I think
So
what he's
there's
saying is most of the time the copies would have a copy of the stamp. They would stamp it before they copy. And he is correct, we would need a stamp copy for the record.
So what they typically do is they put their seal right here, so we know that it's truthful and accurate in terms of what the meets and
Okay.
bounds are. But obviously, the architect did it. I was curious.
In fact, it just has it as owner's copy.
Right, yeah. So that's the only thing that stood out to me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay, and one of the reasons you're putting it that close, it's a detached garage.
Yes, it is.
So you're 10 feet from the house or approximately.
Yes.
And the reason you're putting in there, part of it is because if you move that back, you would be in violation of the side yard.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So you need one or the other. I'm just saying, you're asking for the frontage, but even if we said, okay, you could go back, go close, whatever, you would then make yourself need one for the side yard.
Yes, yeah, with the 40-foot setback, we figured it would be best for us and our neighbors to bring it a little closer to the street as opposed to breach that 15-foot setback on their side.
Okay? Any questions from the board?
So you mentioned that this is, the dimensions are from the street, is it from, please clarify, the dimensions are from the street or from your actual property lines?
From the street, from the edge of the road itself, Peninsula Drive, to the corners, the front corners of the garage will be about 29 and a half and about 30 and a half feet.
Okay, because he's showing you, this plot plan is not a legal survey, up on page 1, up in the front corner.
Right.
And he's showing your dimensions of your lot there, and he actually has it based on, it says deed on here, so I'm assuming those dimensions, I'm wondering if I'm assuming those dimensions are your actual plot dimensions, or whether they, whether that actually is to the road. So that's what I'm trying to understand here, is whether he took these dimensions, this 173 feet, 206.28 feet on the side as off your deed, or whether he took it off your, or if he just, how those numbers came about.
Well, we did have the property surveyed a couple years back. I don't know if he went with, and that was around when we were rebuilding the house.
Yeah, we
So
had to
with the
create a plot plan for the addition that we had built in, what year was it, 2014?
Okay.
So he had requested that plot plan that we had generated and survey.
Okay.
So he took it from that.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so we do have it here. Because your property wouldn't go to the street. There's always a buffer
Right.
actually between the street and your property.
Correct.
So you actually probably have more room before the street than what we're seeing here on these plans.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying,
Right.
as a point of fact, just so, we try to help as we try to go.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So essentially, you're using your existing driveway and then adding on a widening part in front of the doors.
Exactly. It's going to be the same driveway, it's just going to have a bend
Yeah.
to the right.
It's more than double. It's still not.
I'm also.
All set?
Yeah.
All set?
Yep.
Everybody?
Yep.
On a lot of questions, that's good. Okay, there will be a public comment if anybody would like to speak. Seeing none, I will bring it back to the board. And if there's no more comments, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we grant the permit, special permit for plot variation, dimension variation.
With a condition?
They get a stamped.
Oh, then, yes, with the condition that
With
you
it.
that we get a stamped set of plans.
Okay.
And you would just turn that into Lisa. Do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second, I will ask for a vote,
Aye.
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 and aye. With that, it is granted. I do have something else I have to read. You can have some of your copies back if you think you'll need them.
Okay.
Keep that one, because that one looks like that,
This
the
one is
architect
the-
signed that one.
Yeah, that one's signed,
Stamp.
so that may do. Okay.
Well, this says owner's copies, so I don't know.
Whatever works best for you. They're all the same copy to me.
You're still gonna have to come back with a stamped copy.
Right.
And it's actually for your own protection.
So I'll give you
Okay.
that one, and I'll take this
That's
one.
telling you that it's a legal document. Right now, none of these are kind of,
Okay,
what the building inspector would want to say.
okay.
Okay. The special permit is granted with the contingency that the petitioner comply with all licenses, regulations, statutes, ordinances of any and all applicable local, state, and federal boards or agencies with jurisdiction over the premises. The special permit is subject to a periodic review by the permit granting authority or the enforcement officer to ensure compliance with any conditions. Non-compliance to such conditions may result in revocation of the permit. A copy of the board's decision shall be filed with the town clerk within 14 days. Any party aggrieved by the board's decision may appeal to Superior Court within 20 days after the decision is filed with the town clerk. After certification by the town clerk that 20 days have elapsed since the decision was filed, you should have it recorded in the Registry of Deeds. No special permit shall take effect until it has been recorded. The special permit shall lapse within 2 years unless substantial use of construction has commenced. And with that, good luck with your new garage.
All right, outstanding. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Did you want to hold that until I gave you the stamped one? I can. All right, thank you all very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Try to get out and enjoy that weather.
There you go.
we don't have any other business before the board, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
A motion to adjourn?
Oh, I will second that, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With that, the hearings are closed.